The story surrounding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry has never really faded from the global spotlight. From the moment their relationship first became public, the world watched with fascination, curiosity, admiration, and sometimes skepticism. What began as a modern fairy tale between a Hollywood actress and a British prince soon turned into one of the most talked-about royal sagas of the 21st century. Every appearance, every interview, every public statement seemed to ignite another wave of debate across television studios, newspaper columns, and millions of social media discussions. Now, years after their dramatic departure from royal duties, whispers and rumors continue to swirl around the couple, suggesting that the story between the Sussexes and the royal establishment is far from finished. In recent months, speculation has intensified once again. Commentators, royal watchers, and media personalities have begun to ask whether the relationship between Harry and Meghan is facing a difficult chapter. At the same time, a separate narrative has emerged claiming that Meghan may be determined not to quietly disappear from the royal conversation. Some critics have gone as far as using provocative language, suggesting that the ongoing tensions between the couple and the royal institution resemble a kind of emotional standoff. Whether these claims are grounded in reality or simply part of the ever-spinning rumor cycle surrounding the Sussexes is something no outsider can say with certainty. But what is clear is that the public fascination with their story shows no sign of slowing down. To understand why these rumors capture so much attention, one has to look back at the extraordinary journey that brought Harry and Meghan to this moment. Harry grew up as one of the most recognizable members of the British royal family. As the younger son of King Charles III and the late Princess Diana, he lived much of his life under intense public scrutiny. His childhood was marked by both privilege and tragedy, and the loss of his mother left a deep emotional imprint that he has spoken about openly in later years. For many people around the world, Harry represented a more relatable and rebellious figure within the royal family, someone who seemed to struggle with the same challenges and questions that ordinary people face. Meghan's background, on the other hand, came from a completely different world. Raised in California, she built her career in Hollywood and became widely known for her role in the television series Suits. She also gained attention for her humanitarian work and her outspoken views on issues such as gender equality and social justice. When news first emerged that Harry was dating an American actress, the story immediately captured headlines across continents. Some celebrated the relationship as a refreshing sign of modernization within the monarchy, while others viewed it with suspicion, questioning whether someone from outside the traditional royal circles could truly adapt to the strict protocols and expectations that come with royal life. Their wedding in 2018 was a moment that seemed to symbolize a new era. Watched by millions around the world, the ceremony blended royal tradition with modern cultural influences. For a brief moment, it appeared that the British monarchy had embraced a new chapter, one that reflected a more global, inclusive image. Yet behind the scenes, the pressures of royal life were already beginning to take their toll. The royal system is built on centuries of tradition, hierarchy, and unspoken rules. For someone entering from outside that world, adapting can be extraordinarily difficult. Meghan has spoken publicly about how overwhelming the experience felt, particularly the constant media scrutiny and the sense that every action or comment was being analyzed through a harsh lens. Harry, who had long struggled with the pressures of royal life himself, appeared increasingly protective of his wife. The tension between personal independence and institutional responsibility eventually reached a breaking point. In early 2020, Harry and Meghan made the shocking announcement that they would step back from their roles as senior working royals. The decision sent shockwaves through the monarchy and dominated global headlines for weeks. The couple explained that they wanted to pursue financial independence while continuing to support charitable causes. They soon relocated to North America, eventually settling in California. For supporters, the move represented a bold attempt to reclaim control over their lives. For critics, it raised questions about loyalty, duty, and the long-term implications for the royal family. The debate intensified further after the couple's high-profile interview with Oprah Winfrey, in which they discussed their struggles within the royal institution and made several deeply personal revelations. That interview became one of the most talked-about television moments in recent memory, generating both sympathy and backlash. Since then, the Sussexes have continued to build a new life outside the royal system. They launched media projects, signed production deals, and established charitable initiatives through their foundation. Yet even as they tried to move forward, their connection to the royal family remained an unavoidable part of their public identity. Every documentary, podcast, or public statement was interpreted through the lens of their past relationship with the monarchy. This ongoing connection is one of the reasons why rumors about their personal lives continue to attract so much attention. The narrative of a prince and his wife navigating life after leaving the palace carries a natural sense of drama. When whispers begin suggesting that their marriage may be facing challenges, the speculation spreads rapidly across media platforms. In today's digital age, a single comment from a television panelist or an anonymous insider can quickly evolve into a full-blown viral headline. Some observers believe that the rumors reflect nothing more than the intense pressure that accompanies life in the public eye. Celebrity relationships, especially those involving global figures like Harry and Meghan, are constantly subjected to speculation. A brief absence from public events, a change in schedule, or even a subtle difference in body language can trigger countless theories. In many cases, these theories say more about public curiosity than about the reality of the couple's relationship. Others argue that the Sussexes' ongoing disputes with sections of the media have contributed to the atmosphere of tension. Harry has been particularly vocal about what he sees as unfair or intrusive reporting, launching legal actions against several media organizations. He has described his campaign against certain tabloid practices as a deeply personal mission, one connected to the painful memories of how the press treated his mother during her lifetime. For critics of the couple, these legal battles and public statements are seen as part of a broader struggle between the Sussexes and the institutions they once belonged to. Some commentators frame the situation in dramatic terms, suggesting that both sides remain locked in a long-running conflict that neither is willing to fully abandon. Yet supporters of Harry and Meghan see it differently. They argue that the couple is simply defending themselves against a media environment that has often been hostile and intrusive. The truth, as is often the case in stories involving powerful institutions and famous personalities, likely lies somewhere in the middle. Relationships within families are complicated, even without the added pressure of global fame. When those family dynamics intersect with a centuries-old monarchy and a relentless media ecosystem, the complexity multiplies. Another factor fueling speculation is the public's enduring fascination with royal narratives. For generations, the British royal family has served as a kind of living drama that unfolds in real time. Weddings, births, scandals, and reconciliations all become part of a larger story that millions of people follow, almost like a television series. Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties created a dramatic twist in that story, and many observers continue to watch for the next chapter. Meanwhile, the couple themselves appear to be focused on building their future. They have spoken about their commitment to raising their children away from the intense spotlight that defined Harry's own childhood. They have also emphasized their desire to support charitable causes and social initiatives through their foundation. Whether these efforts will eventually redefine their public image remains to be seen. What is certain is that the narrative surrounding Harry and Meghan continues to evolve. Each new development, each interview, each appearance adds another layer to a story that has already spanned years and crossed continents. For some, the Sussexes represent a challenge to tradition and a push toward modernity within an ancient institution. For others, they symbolize a complicated chapter in the history of the monarchy. As rumors swirl and debates continue, the central question remains unresolved. What will the long-term legacy of Harry and Meghan's choices ultimately be? Will they eventually find a stable balance between their private lives and their public influence? Or will the controversies surrounding their departure from royal life continue to follow them for years to come? Only time will provide the answer. Until then, the world will likely continue watching, analyzing, and discussing every new development in the unfolding saga of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, a story that has proven again and again that it is far from over. The conversation surrounding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry has a strange way of returning to the center of global attention no matter how much time passes. Even when months go by without a major public appearance or statement from the couple, the speculation never completely disappears. Instead, it lingers quietly in media discussions, waiting for the next moment when a rumor, a comment, or an unexpected headline reignites the debate. For many observers, the continued fascination with their lives says as much about modern media culture as it does about the couple themselves. In the years since they stepped away from royal duties, Harry and Meghan have tried to redefine what their lives look like outside the traditional royal structure. California became their new base, a place far removed from the formal ceremonies and rigid traditions that once defined their daily routines. In interviews and documentaries, they have spoken about the sense of freedom they hope to gain from that decision. Yet freedom in their case has come with a different kind of pressure. Instead of palace protocols and official responsibilities, they now face the constant challenge of shaping their own narrative in a world where every move is examined by millions. Some commentators believe that the couple's struggle to control their story has contributed to the recurring rumors about their relationship. When two people live under such intense scrutiny, even the smallest details can become fuel for speculation. A delayed public appearance, a separate project announcement, or even a brief change in tone during an interview can lead to headlines suggesting tension or disagreement. For ordinary couples, these moments might pass unnoticed, but for figures as globally recognized as Harry and Meghan, they often become the starting point for entire waves of commentary. The dynamic between them has always intrigued the public. Harry has often described Meghan as someone who brought new perspective into his life, someone who encouraged him to question the structures and expectations he had grown up with. At the same time, Meghan has spoken about the support Harry offered her as she navigated the unfamiliar world of royal tradition and protocol. Their partnership, at least in their own telling, has always been rooted in mutual protection and shared purpose. They frequently present themselves as a team facing external challenges together. But public perception can shift quickly, especially when different narratives compete for attention. Critics sometimes argue that the couple's decisions, leaving royal duties, speaking openly about internal conflicts, pursuing independent media projects, have kept them entangled in the very royal drama they once tried to escape. Supporters respond by saying that the Sussexes simply refuse to remain silent about their experiences, choosing instead to speak honestly about issues that many believe the royal institution has long preferred to keep private. The tension between these perspectives creates a constant cycle of speculation. Whenever a new rumor appears suggesting trouble in the couple's marriage, it quickly spreads across social media platforms and television panels. Analysts dissect body language, tone of voice, and even the timing of public appearances, searching for clues about what might really be happening behind the scenes. Yet the reality is that very few people outside their immediate circle know the truth about their personal lives. One reason the speculation persists is that Harry and Meghan have become symbolic figures in a much larger conversation about the role of the monarchy in the modern world. Their departure from royal duties raised questions about tradition, independence, and the balance between public service and personal well-being. For some observers, the couple represents a break from outdated structures, a sign that even centuries-old institutions must adapt to changing expectations. For others, their actions are seen as a challenge to the stability and continuity that the monarchy is meant to represent. The relationship between Harry and his family has also remained a subject of ongoing curiosity. The bond between brothers, particularly between Harry and Prince William, was once portrayed as one of the strongest connections within the royal family. Images of the two standing side by side at major public events created the impression of unity and shared purpose. Over time, however, reports began to suggest that their relationship had grown strained, especially after Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from royal life. Family conflicts, of course, are not unusual. What makes this situation different is the scale on which it unfolds. Disagreements that might normally remain private become global headlines when they involve members of the royal family. Every reported conversation or alleged disagreement is amplified through countless news outlets and online discussions. The result is a story that constantly evolves, sometimes fueled more by interpretation than by confirmed facts. In the midst of all this attention, Meghan has often been portrayed as a central figure in the ongoing controversy. Some critics claim that she continues to challenge the royal establishment through interviews, documentaries, and public statements. Others argue that she has been unfairly blamed for conflicts that existed long before she entered the royal family. The truth, as with many public narratives, is likely far more complex than the simplified versions presented in headlines. Harry himself has acknowledged that the journey of leaving royal life has not been easy. In several interviews, he has spoken about the emotional toll of separating from the environment he grew up in, even while insisting that the decision was necessary for the well-being of his own family. He has also emphasized that his relationship with Meghan remains a source of strength during difficult moments. These statements stand in contrast to the persistent rumors suggesting that their marriage may be facing serious trouble. Yet rumors thrive in the absence of clear information. When the couple chooses to remain private about certain aspects of their lives, speculation often fills the silence. Some media personalities frame the situation in dramatic terms, suggesting that the Sussexes remain locked in a continuing conflict with the royal institution. Others present the story as a tale of personal resilience, focusing on the couple's efforts to create a life that reflects their own values rather than traditional expectations. Meanwhile, the world around them continues to change. The monarchy itself is evolving, particularly under the reign of King Charles III. Discussions about modernization, transparency, and public relevance have become increasingly prominent within royal commentary. In that context, the story of Harry and Meghan often serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by any institution trying to balance tradition with the realities of the 21st century. For Harry and Meghan, the path forward may involve continuing to build their independent identity while gradually redefining their relationship with the royal family. Whether reconciliation is possible remains uncertain, but history shows that royal relationships have experienced both conflict and healing over time. Public opinion can also shift in unexpected ways, particularly as new generations bring different perspectives to long-standing traditions. What remains undeniable is the extraordinary level of attention surrounding the couple. Few modern figures have experienced such a dramatic transformation in public identity. From royal newlyweds celebrated around the world to independent public figures navigating life outside the palace. Every chapter of their story seems to generate new questions, new interpretations, and new debates. As the rumors about their marriage circulate once again, the broader narrative continues to unfold. Some observers predict that the couple will eventually move further away from royal controversies, focusing entirely on their charitable and media projects. Others believe that their connection to the monarchy will always keep them within the orbit of royal drama, no matter how far geographically they travel. In reality, the future of Harry and Meghan's story may depend less on rumors and more on the choices they make about how much of their lives they wish to share with the public. The balance between privacy and visibility is a difficult one to maintain, especially when global curiosity remains so intense. But if their past decisions are any indication, the Sussexes are unlikely to follow a path defined entirely by tradition or expectation, and so the speculation continues, fueled by fascination, debate, and the enduring allure of royal storytelling. Each rumor becomes another thread in a narrative that seems to expand with every passing year. For supporters, critics, and casual observers alike, the story of Harry and Meghan remains one of the most compelling modern chapters in the ongoing history of the British royal family.